I listen. I can feel it. I experience it. And I breathe it. This is music to me. And who am I? My name is Nina, and I'm a music lover. And I'm about to take you on a journey into one of the craziest industries in the world. This is Connected by Frequency. Hello, music lovers. My name is Nina, and I'm taking you again on a journey into the music industry. First, I want to thank you all for the great messages and comments you send to me every day. This truly means a lot. Today, I will talk to the multi-platinum selling artist who has been in the music industry for over 20 years. Initially as a member of the globally renowned band and then racking up millions of streams both as a solo artist and when featuring on global hits with huge names in the electronic music industry. His vocal productions have also featured on Grammy-nominated albums, commercials, TV shows, and in blockbuster movies. But before we start, you know what I need to ask you, right? If you like this show and you want to support me to continue doing it, please make this easier for me via Patreon or PayPal donations. All the information will be written in the video description and on the Connected by Frequency Facebook page. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share this video with the world, and leave a comment if you have anything to say. This is really important, and I will much appreciate it. Thank you. Another genius singer and songwriter is joining the Connected by Frequency family. We know him as someone who wrote music for some of the most appreciated masterminds. I'm talking about Tiesto, BT, Armin van Buuren, Benny Benassi. He also collaborated with Paul van Dyk and American singer Jazz Breeden, who was in this show before, Paul Oakenfold, Sebastian Ingrosso, Dirty South, Jody Wisternoff. And trust me, this is only small part of it. Paul Oakenfold, well, all of those names actually are familiar to you, I guess. But he is one of the most in-demand lyricists and vocalists in the music industry. This artist was a member of the popular British band BBMak, who sold 3 million albums worldwide and has conquered both the UK Top 40 and the US Billboard Top 100. If I may add, his voice and the motivation and daily attitude he shares with his fans is something that makes you jump into the new day with the biggest smile on your face. Infusing diverse genres of music to create art that evokes emotions of excitement, nostalgia, and melancholy is how he describes himself as an artist. Do you agree? I know I definitely do. With great excitement, I present you Christian Burns. Welcome, dear.
Hey, how are you? Great to be here.
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Yeah, it's it's a surprisingly sunny day here in the UK, which is nice for this time of year. But I'm great. It's great to be here.
That's good to hear, because over here it's a rainy day today and I don't really like it, but it is what it is, I guess. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. Can you please explain us a little bit, just briefly, who actually Christian is as a famous artist and who is Christian at home when the curtains fall?
Right, two very different people there. I've been doing music since I was a little kid. My first band since the age of 12. I guess, for me as an artist, I love to keep it varied. So I've done a lot of different things in my career, from, working with BBMak and doing more pop stuff, to doing some more like grungy kind of rock stuff in the kind of early noughties. Then morphing into into the electronic world and working with people like Tiesto and all these, great producers and DJs I've had the pleasure of working with over the years. And, when I'm at home, I spend a lot of time working on music. It's like I struggle to separate work from pleasure because I really enjoy what I do. And I think that's the key for anybody in this world is find something that you love and do it, because it's going to work out so much better for you in the long run and you're going to enjoy the whole process. So yeah, there's my little tip for the day.
That's a good tip, definitely. And I totally agree. But it's not that easy to find, that something that actually makes you feel comfortable, doing, and the passion maybe, because not a lot of people actually have discovered what is actually passion for them. And I think it's really important to find something like that in your life.
I think so too. I think people have got to ask themselves some big questions, before they go into this hamster wheel of, a job they don't like and they're doing the same thing every day. Ask yourself these big questions, what do I love? What am I passionate about? What am I good at? Or what do I think I could be good at? And then just follow that path, and do everything you can, because at the end of the day, it's up to you. All the opportunities are out there. I think you've just got to, really ask yourself those big questions, because I tell you, like, work and doing a job, it's a big, huge part of your life. And if you're not happy in your job, it's a big chunk of your life you're spending not happy. So I'm going on now about it. I'm very passionate about this topic, about doing what you love. So anyway, I'll move on. But yeah, just ask yourself those questions. What do I love? And then do it.
Yes, exactly. I know what I love, so I'm trying to get there. So, but we will see. Okay, so you have been active in the scene for more than 20 years and went through so many different music-related journeys. So first that I need to mention definitely is your band BBMak. So you hit the top with this project back at the beginning of 2000, when you sold out 3 million albums worldwide. How did this success happen?
Yeah, it was a wild ride. It was really wild. And, I met Mark and Steve out of BBMak. We met back in 1997. We just decided to, let's write some songs. Let's write some songs and let's go and get a record deal. There was no internet down there, then back in those days. There was no internet, no way of getting in touch with labels or anything like that. So, we got this book called the Showcase International Show Book, and it had every address of every record company in the UK. So we just literally went down to London. I think I borrowed my dad's suits, and we all had these suits on. We had these demos, cassettes made, and we went down to London, and we just busked outside record companies. We busked until someone moved us by the police. Actually, I think it was Virgin Records moved us, and then suddenly one person let us into the label and said, "Oh, this was great, guys! Come in and sing for the A&R people." So we went and sang, and then to cut a long story short, there ended up being a complete bidding war over us, and every label in the UK wanted to sign us, and we ended up signing with Telstar Records, and then we got licensed out to Disney, which was Hollywood Records. We went over to America, and the song came out, and we worked really hard at doing all the promo, but the song was a huge hit, and it hit the number one spot in America for 12 weeks, and we were just like blown away. But it was what a roller coaster of a ride that was, and that was my first introduction into music. But I'll say, how it came about and the success was just the drive. And, we just took action. We went down to London and we just bust. We weren't going to take no for an answer. And I think it was a lot to do with our mindset at the time as well. And, we had great songs. It was like the perfect storm. So it all came together. Fun days, really fun days.
You were young and crazy, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Still crazy, not too much young, but still a bit crazy.
That's good, actually. Okay, but what do you think you were different than any other band? Because, during that time, it was crazy hype. Speaking of Backstreet Boys, for example, or NSYNC, or I don't know, Savage Garden also was really popular back then. And but you were standing alongside those bands, so you were in the top over there. Why do you think you were chosen, by people?
I think it was a few reasons. I think, at the time there was a lot of dancing bands, boy bands, and doing all this, and with the okey pokey. And it wasn't us, because I just felt uncomfortable doing that. I'm not a great dancer. I'll just say that now. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a great dancer, so it would have been a disaster. But we were just a little bit different. We wrote our own tracks, we produced our own tracks, we wrote all our own lyrics, and it was just a little bit different at the time. And we worked with Oliver Lieber and John Shanks, two amazing producers and guitarists in Los Angeles when we were creating the first single back here. And they really brought this new kind of sound to it, and which was something you weren't hearing a lot of in pop records at the time. So it was just something a little bit different. And like I say, you know, it was the hard work we put in, but the perfect storm kind of all came together, really.
Completely agree. All right. So in 2003, you split up, right? But there is a surprise. The band got back together a few years ago and you started touring. I think it happened in 2019, right? If I'm not mistaken. And a year after that, you were supposed to continue touring. But we all know what happened, unfortunately.
We all know what
Yeah. So what is the idea for the future and the three of you, speaking of this band and touring?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we've been working on some new music, and the reason we got back together, you know, all those years later is because I posted a little video on my social media. I was just singing back here acoustically, and there was such an incredible response. The video went viral. There was like 2 million views or something. It went crazy. So there was obviously people missed hearing us sing together. And, you know, I love the boys so much, and it's always fun hanging out with them and you know, going on tour and stuff. So we decided to do some more shows and some more, you know, put some more music out. So it's something that's still going on in the background. We're still working on stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, COVID put the brakes on the tour for us this year, and travel restrictions and everything else. So it was a shame. But, you know, I think we've all found this challenging. I'm not, you know, we're not the only ones who's been affected by this. So everyone was very understanding. But yeah, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. You just got to keep going, be positive.
Yeah, the whole industry got affected.
Yeah.
So, what to say on this topic? I really don't know. I mean, it's really better not to start talking about this. It's never-ending story. But as I said, in 2003 you split up, so you all went in different directions. But it seems that you did it in the best possible way. So why am I saying this? Some of you know 2007 was another big year for Chris. And how was that? Well, actually in 2006, you entered the EDM world, the electronic music, dance music world, thanks to Tiesto and his discovery of you on MySpace. And this was really interesting because, I mean, MySpace right now sounds like, I don't know, last century thing.
Like an old man, I know.
Yeah. But can you please explain a little bit how it looked like, you know, back
Yeah, of course. I mean, what it was, you know, we took a break. Me and the boys had said, like, let's put this on hold. You know, we're going to take a break. So we took a break for about 15 years. And I was writing my own music. And at the time I was doing something which was like a lot of like guitars, but with a lot of synths in it as well. Kind of like the Killers. It was inspired by that sound of the Killers' first album, Hot Fuss. Mm-hmm. Which I really loved at the time. This is about 2003, 2004. And for a few years I was working on this sound, and I uploaded a few of these demos up to MySpace at the time. Yeah, if you remember it. And I got a message off Tiesto, and I was like, who's this Tiesto guy? He's like, hey, I really like this song of yours. Can I do it? I'm like, well, no, this is my song. And, you know, I was like, who is this guy? So anyway, I said, it's my songs for release. And then I think it was the next day, or a week later, I got a DVD through the post, and it was Arnie, you know, Arnie being a dear friend of mine who runs Black Hole Records. And at the time he sent me this DVD, and I was like, it's a DVD, and I like, put it in. And it was Tiesto doing a show in a sold out stadium in this big DJ booth with lights all around it, and like, you know, 85,000 people all going crazy, and him like doing that. And I was just like, wow, this guy's the real deal. I was like, because I wasn't into dance music in the world, so I didn't know who he was. And it was pretty early days of the internet, you know, so I didn't know Tiesto, and I checked out his DVD, and I was just like, hey, is that Tiesto? Yeah, I'm just this Christian calling you back. Yeah. I was like, hey, mate. And I spoke to him. I said, I'm absolutely blown away by what you've created and this kind of movement in dance music. It was really quite powerful to me seeing this DVD. And I was just like blew my socks off. And I spoke to Tiesto, and I said, look, mate, I said, this is incredible what you've got going on here and what you're doing. So yeah, you still can't have that song because it's it's my song. But what I will do, let's write a song together. And he was like, great, okay, let's write a song together. And then, I wrote In the Dark, which was the first track, I'd ever done in this dance. I'd never done a vocal for a dance song. And I like the trance music because I like the emotion in the chord changes. It wasn't so happy, it was quite melancholy. So I wrote this track In the Dark, and it went on to be a huge success, and it was the lead single off his Grammy-nominated album, and we toured the world, and it was a hit everywhere, and that was the beginning for me. But yeah, that's how it all came about. With meeting Tiesto was on MySpace all those years ago.
Well, actually, I think this is the perfect way to enter this industry.
It really is, though. See, joking apart, I teach now as well, and teach my students. It's like, you've got this incredible resource of networking that you can tap into at any time. You can contact labels, you can contact artists, other co-writers, vocalists. If you know how to do it right, you can contact anybody through the internet. So it's a different time now we're living in, but it just shows you, the power of social media and, connecting with people.
That's completely true. And there is a lot of platforms, as far as I know, that do this kind of stuff. They gather songwriters, producers, DJs, people who do mixing, for example, something like that. So you can find everything you need, for example, on those platforms.
Yeah, like Sound Better and stuff like that, you mean?
Yes, exactly. This is what I thought.
You can do that, but you can also just go and contact people yourself.
Yeah,
I have a lot of success doing that myself, the artist direct, and not always the huge artists either, up and coming, artists that are starting out, that's still incredible. There's so much talent out there. It's ridiculous, honestly.
That's really good. Okay, so you mentioned In the Dark, of course, that track, the first track that you did, speaking of electronic dance music. And I have to say, this is, in my opinion, this is one of the biggest albums of all time. We are talking about Elements of Life, of course. Why am I saying this? Actually, the idea of this album, as far as I remember, is to combine, it's like a fusion of trance, rock, and experimental music. So I think this was the reason why you were a good fit to this kind of album. So yeah, that's good. That's nice. And you just mentioned that you were doing before you started working with Tiesto and all the other people in the industry, that you were actually doing your music, and this is how they found out about you. Speaking of MySpace, first of all, because I couldn't find any information related, to that period from 2003, 2006. So yeah. I guess you were working on your project.
Yeah, I was working on stuff, and I was finding my sound, and I was just like kind of, writing a lot of songs. I was doing a lot of songwriting and a whole lot of experimentation as well with my sound. So it was great that I was open to everything, really. It was like an open book. I was taking all kinds of influences on and trying different things. And then I met Tiesto, and that, I love the electronic music world, and I've done many things in it now. And it was all down to Tiesto who got me into it back then.
Yeah, but soon after, new collaborations started to approach. For example, Benny Benassi, of course, Jazz. I talked about this. BT, we will talk about him later on, because I think he needs to be mentioned for sure. Armin van Buuren, of course, Sebastian Ingrosso, Chicane, Paul Oakenfold. Why am I even trying to name them all? I'm giving up. Like, this is mission impossible. So do you think there is a specific reason this happened, or is it just about you being amazing?
I think it's just about me being amazing, basically. I think what it was, I had a different approach to writing these songs, especially like songs like In the Dark, and some of those early songs I did in the dance realm, and it attracted a lot of other huge names like Paul van Dyk, like Armin van Buuren, and all these other big guys who wanted to kind of tap into that because it was a little bit different to what else was going on for a male vocalist in the trance and dance scene, I suppose. So I guess I just had my own way and sound, and people liked it at the time.
That's completely true. Actually, there is a lot more female vocalists even today, you know. But back then it was even crazier, I think. So wow, that's really good. So I will not ask you who was the hardest and who was the easiest to work with, because I know you're not feeling comfortable around that question, and you try to avoid it. But which is fair enough. But I want to know how you decide who you want to collaborate with. Is it only about how big name is it, for example, or there is something else more important than that?
No, it's obviously on a marketing side of things for an artist, working with big names, is a great way to kind of tap into other people's audience and help spread, the name and the music. But I'll be honest with you, the main point, I work with these different people, because I work with a lot of unheard artists as well. Like on my new album, I've worked with some incredible people. For me, it's all about like, how do we connect as two writers, and, how do I feel that we click artistically. So we've got to be on the same wavelength, because there's some people, sometimes you kind of, I just don't feel it, and it's like, this is not going to work. And I might be a fan of the music even. So for me, it's got to be on a creative level. Like, do we really connect? And do I get excited about hearing, your music to write over? Do I feel inspired? That's what it's got to come down to at the end of the day.
That's logical. Everything is about the connection. So,
okay. It really is. It really is.
How does it actually work in your case? Are you writing the lyrics, and the chords, the melody, and singing, of course, and then sending this to the producer, for example, or it is the opposite, people asking you to add lyrics and vocal parts to the half-produced tracks?
Well, I think it's kind of changed a little bit the way I work. And at the beginning, when I was starting to write stuff in the dance world, it was kind of like I would get sent a track and then I would just, fill in my vocal and just write over that. But more recent times is I've started writing the song myself, just really raw on piano only. And then I write the melodies and the vocal. And then, writing like this in this really raw form, there's a couple of reasons why I do this. It's easy to edit kind of thing when you've not got a full track. It's easy to edit as you go along. And also the producer then can hear the song in its rawest form and then think, wow, I can get inspired to put, everything else around this vocal. And also if a song stands up like that with just a piano and just a vocal, and you're like, this is great. Well, you've got a strong song, when it's not hiding behind any other production or, bells and whistles. So my recent approach is I'll write the melody, the lyrics over a piano, and then I'll send it to whoever. Then we'll work on the track together.
Oh, wow. But does it happen sometimes that they're not satisfied with what they're hearing, for example, or they want something completely different?
Yeah, I mean, not something completely different. I mean, it's all part of the process. So, someone might send me a track, and then I say, then I'll butcher the track and say, right, I don't need that bit. That's gone. I'm going to duplicate this bit. So I'll butcher just going with a hacksaw on it, butcher the track, and then to be able to fit what's in my head and my melody. And then I send it back to them, and they might say, hey, can you do an extra part like this? It would be cool to do some background vocals. And I say, yeah, I can do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's a part of the process then. We go back and forth until both parties are really happy with it and excited about the finished product. But at this point in time, I can actually say that people, they always love it when they get it. And sometimes we tweak it to get it where they want, but never, because in my whole process now, if something's not great, I'll know as I'm doing it. So I won't go that far as to do a whole track that's not great. So I've been having great success with my new process over the last few years. And it's been saving me a lot of time as well. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does, but that's actually not bad. I mean, I mean, it's not that about the process if the result is good. So no one is going to ask how it went, to get to that point, to make something really amazing. Okay, I have this thing I do like a feature I do in every episode. And I hope that you're not going to hate me after this. It's called Blast from the Past or Down the Memory Lane. Okay. So I will go with a couple of your pictures from a long time ago. Right. Okay. Actually, this is the one that you posted on your Instagram profile. This is your band. Back then in 2001. That's
right. Look at that quiff I've got going on there. Blonde spikes.
Oh my God. Oh, this is just the start. So let it go. This one is also nice. You look amazing, by the way, over here.
Look at that young chap there. Look at him there. Yeah, that was probably around 2000. That's probably about
this one is like for the Teenager magazine or something like that.
Do you know what? Look at that. That was in Popstar magazine in America, and I think that was like 2099 or something.
Wow, nice. Okay, we're coming to the more interesting part. What is going on with the hair?
Listen, it was all the rage at the time. At the time, my hairdresser told me, he said, it's going to look good, this. But now looking back at it, I look like...
But two of them were really, regular guys. Yeah. But you were always different.
There's me with some crazy streaks and a Japanese Olympic top on, yeah.
Okay, next one. This is interesting. This is Avril Lavigne.
Where did you find that? I've never seen that.
Oh, come on. It's available on the internet. If you want to find it, you can find it.
Yeah, that was at the VMAs. That's the VMAs with Avril Lavigne there. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the year. Long time ago.
So I guess you all knew each other, from that...
Yeah, we were all in the same kind of circle, doing the same shows and stuff. Oh wow! I cracked out the eyeliner. This was the eyeliner period. 2000.
This one is the winner. This one is the winner.
That's the one. Yeah.
I need your fully explain how did you end up.
So that one with the eyeliner. That was when I was doing a band project called Inhaler, and it was just me basically, but it was called Inhaler, and it's kind of rock music, and I've forgotten who I think it was The Cure I was watching at the time. I just thought, I'm going to try some eyeliner. So I got it on and I kept it for about 2 years. It was a running joke that my mate, Christian, one of my best friends now, says, hey, you've got your eyeliner tonight. So, but it was, that was.
No, eyeliner is okay, but I'm with hair. Like
the hair was, do you know what? It was just, it morphed over those few years. It changed shape, it changed color, did all kind. Look at it now. It's just going out of control. So actually, I'm actually morphing into Michael Bolton underneath this hat right now. I need to get a haircut. So God knows where it'll go next. Maybe I'll get a perm and dye it bright red. Who knows?
Nah. I think you left that part of your life, definitely.
Yeah, I did. I left it.
Yeah, it's part of the growing up, I guess. And when you're young and crazy, you try different kind of things. So it's understandable. Yeah. Okay, so you played, of course, worldwide, including being on tour with Tiesto and Armin van Buuren as well. Can you tell us how it was being in front of that crazy crowd at that kind of event? Because it's not like a concert, a regular rock concert, for example. It's something completely different, and the fans and the people who come over there to listen to that kind of music are, I guess, completely different. So how was it for you for the first time, to stand in front of those people and sing?
Yeah, do you know what? I have a really vivid memory of doing the first show with Tiesto. It was Edinburgh. Was it? No, it was Belfast. It was Belfast, and we went over to do the show, and I hadn't performed since 2003, and this was 2007. So it had been a few years I hadn't performed, and I was used to performing in a band, you know, with two other people on stage with me. So I was quite nervous. I remember I was nervous, and you know, I went on the stage to do In the Dark, and the crowd just went crazy. And within like about 3 seconds, the crowd just made me feel so at ease and made me remember what it was like to be on stage and how much I enjoyed it. It was such a magical tour that, you know, we all had a great time, you know, all the old artists and Jess and Julie Thompson, everyone, we all got on so well. We had a great time. And it was incredible going on to that crowd, you know, every night, because they were so passionate about the songs and, you know, the huge fans of Tiesto. And it was just incredible for me to come back after all these years, you know, of not doing any performing, to go and do the Tiesto Elements of Life tour was simply put magical.
That's a perfect way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah.
But what was the craziest crowd for you?
Oh, I think talking crazy. I remember like Argentina and Mexico. They were crazy. They were really crazy. Yeah, like South America. It was. I mean, the whole tour was pretty crazy. It was an epic show. Do you know what I mean? So even if the ones that started out and you thought the crowd were a bit more subdued, a bit more laid back, as the show went going, people would just go bananas. It was incredible, honestly, and it was such an epic light show as well. So I think they all turned up being an absolutely crazy crowd by the end of every show. Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. So let's talk about your collaboration with BT. Let's talk about how it started, because you started working in 2010, I think. And in the meantime, you became friends and, of course, continued working. And even now you're working on new stuff and you'll definitely continue doing it. So I just need to mention, because I'm not sure that everyone knows who BT is, which is a shame. But everyone who is in the music industry, for sure, they should know who BT is. He's a genius, if you ask me, because he does a lot of different things related to the music, and he is American musician. He's a DJ, he's a producer, he's a singer and songwriter like Christian is. He's also a composer, an audio engineer, and he was nominated for the Grammy Award also. And he is a blockchain artist. And don't even try to ask me about this, because I am not a fan of this topic. But we will talk about this later on a little bit, just to explain how this actually works. So can you tell me how this started and how you connected?
Yeah, well, we met actually. Me and BT met on tour with Tiesto on the Elements of Life tour, because he had a song called "Break My Fall." I think was it? Mm-hmm. Was it Fall? I think with Tiesto. We met on tour. We got chatting, and I knew of his work, you know, prior, and he knew of my work, and we just hit it off. You know, sometimes you meet somebody and you just like, you just really get on with someone. So we were having chats, and we were in, I think it was Budapest, and we spent like one show. We did our performance, and we spent the rest of the night just chatting about music. And I said, listen, let's do something together. And he gave me this little loop. That he said, see if you can come up with something. I've got this little part, it's an 8-bar loop. And I went back home to England and after the tour, and I just started working it, and I ended up writing this track called Suddenly, which was the lead single off his Grammy-nominated album, These Hopeful Machines. Yep. I ended up writing 4 tracks on that album with him. And we just, it was, you know, I was talking about before about, you know, having that connection with someone, and we just work really well together when we're working on music. So yeah, we've worked together for years now, you know, since then. And we have our own band called All Hail the Silence, which we went on tour with in 2018. And we're excited to do some more shows in the future. I can't say anything just yet, but watch this space. And we're actually working on new music at the moment as well. So for All Hail the Silence, which is, our kind of passion project as well that we've got. And on top of that as well, we're launching our own label, record label soon. So we've been busy working on our own label, which is Cassette Recordings. It's KSS3TE. Cassette Recordings, and we're excited. We've signed a bunch of artists, and we're really excited to start, releasing music on our label now as well. So me and BT, we're like, he's one of my dearest friends in the whole world, and I love working with him. The guy is a genius, and you didn't mention before his software he's developed as well. Like he's done created a lot of software for artists, like a Break Tweaker and Stutter Edit, which are used all over the place in movies and in hit songs that you hear on the radio. So yeah, he's a very inspiring person. And a really great friend of mine. And, we love just geeking out together. We speak nearly every day about, things we're working on and stuff. And wow. It's just a lot of fun making music with BT.
Yeah, it sounded like that for me. So yes, I can see it's completely true. So you mentioned All Hail the Silence album and actually the band. That this project, actually this album was created using analog synthesizers without the aid of computer. Can you please explain how did this actually work and what is the idea of this? Because I'm not sure I completely understand it.
Yeah, well, what I mean is, like, we didn't use computers and, keyboards plugged into computers to create the album. We went to an old studio which only had old analog synthesizers, and we connected that up to a sequencer and tape machine to record all the albums. So we recorded the album like albums were recorded in 1983, the same process, the same equipment. We didn't have computers then. So, it was... It was challenging at times, but we really limited ourselves to the instruments and functions, and it really helped create the sound of the All Hail the Silence sound you hear on the album, and it sounds so legitimate as like the sounds from the 80s, because we did get to use all these magical old vintage synthesizers and drum machines. It was just what an incredible experience it was, recording the album. Wow. It was amazing.
Amazing, really amazing. Okay, so for you, how long does it take? I mean, people usually ask you this. Of course, I'm not the first one, but I know why am I asking you this right now. It leads us to next questions. How long does it take for you to write the lyrics? I guess it depends.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. It used to take me a lot longer than it does now. I think when you're writing lyrics, it's about keeping the inspiration going and not putting yourself in a box. So I've got methods and techniques now that I can now write a song in a day. So I mean, write the chord progression, write the melody, write the lyrics, and get it all done and recorded in one day now. Whereas it used to take me a lot longer before I had, my ways and methods and processes. But yeah, I think with lyrics, it's just about not getting stuck and finding ways to ignite inspiration when you get stuck, because there's nothing worse than just sitting there and looking at a blank page and just being, I'm stuck, And I think a good thing for people to do if they are struggling with it is to map out what you want to say, because I think that's the main reason people struggle with writing lyrics is because they don't know what they want to say. Mm-hmm. So it's always hard. So, that's one little trick I do, is to map out what I want to say first. But honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's different every time. Some days I'll get stuck on one bit and I'll just leave it and I'll come back to it another time. And then, it comes to me, You shouldn't have to force it.
Yeah, but speaking of lyrics, for example, and you mentioned melody as well, I think technology helped a little bit over there as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way I create melody now is, I use functions in my DAW to help me craft and mine for this melody, for the great melodies. So definitely, computers are incredible. And I look at my computer now, not just as a way of capturing my art or my song, but I look at it as being a co-writer. a co-writer that helps me in the creative process, and a co-writer that you don't have to give any publishing royalties to as well. But there are some incredible tools, in your computer that you can use to help you, assist you in the songwriting process. Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, so where do you find your inspiration for writing? Again, similar question that people usually do. And speaking of creativity as well, I mean, I'm surrounded by creative people in different industries, mostly music indeed. And I'm always impressed how you guys create something from scratch, which happens naturally, and I do work in marketing for a lot of years, but it's completely different. I'm not the one who creates, not in that way, actually. But my question is whether it is necessarily connected to your lifestyle, life experience, I don't know, maybe some life goals that you have, history, I don't know.
I think inspiration comes to me in many forms, in many different places. And inspiration is actually everywhere. If you know where to look for it and know what to look out for, you can find inspiration everywhere. In TV shows, in the newspaper, in a conversation overheard on a train ride, things that happen to you in real life. So I think it's knowing how to detect when there's something inspiration there. And it might be something, like I say, it might be something that somebody just says to you in conversation. And if you really step back, go, wow, that's a really great line for a song. It's a really great thought, really great sentiment. So you've just got to be on the lookout, because it's everywhere. And the great thing is now, we've all got phones in our pockets. So if you get inspiration for a melody, you can get it down your voice notes. If you hear a line in a movie and you think that would be great, you might see a book title and think that'd be a great title for a song, write it down in your notes. Just gather this inspiration. And then when you sit down to write, you can say, right, okay, let's have a look through my notes and see what bits and bobs I've got to start from here. Because starting, so you mentioned starting from nothing. Starting from nothing is really hard. So, if you've got this bank of nuggets of melodies or chord progressions or words or whatever, as a little kind of nest of things that you can start songs with, little tiny fires, then, that's good practice to do that. But yeah, it's everywhere. Inspiration is absolutely everywhere.
But I guess focusing on details is something you need to pay attention to. You need to have this in yourself, to pay attention to all the details around you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So what gives you wings actually to feel free and create? Can you describe in one word, what emotion actually your music is triggering, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good one. And I think, as much as you try and craft a song, you can't help but be influenced by the way you're feeling on some days. And so some days, if I'm feeling happier and great, I'm writing this, I like to write a lot of hopeful songs. So it's not just one emotion. I think, songs are full of emotion. But it all depends on what mood you're in, I guess, or what you're feeling like at that day. And it's because it's so easy to write your truth. When you are feeling sad, it's so easy to write a sad song when you're sad. If you're happy, it's harder to write a sad song when you're happy, and it's harder to write, a happy song when you're sad. As professionals, we have to turn it on and off, but give yourself the best chance by just go with your mood and go with what you're feeling at the day, because I think ultimately that's your truth, and it's always easier to write your truth.
Yes, indeed. You mentioned that generally, however you feel, it's easy for you to write about it. But what does it actually happen to you? Someone asks you to do something, for example, make me, happy song, and you're not feeling like doing it. Do you have those moments in your life?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, if someone says to me, write me a happy song, I don't really write happy songs. I sound really miserable because I find it can be a little bit cheesy to write a happy song. It's a really hard thing to do actually and get it right. So I'd say, one trick is to write a hopeful song because, without hope, there is no happiness. And I think, writing a hopeful song rather than a happy song, it eliminates a lot of cheese in your lyrics and it gives you that great euphoric feeling still. So that's a little secret I do when I'm writing lyrics for, big, uplifting trance tracks and everything. I don't focus on the happy, I focus on the hope.
Oh, that's a good highlight. I'm writing it down, definitely. Okay. So this is one significant project, of course, I need to mention that you're doing for a while. It's a Record Ready Academy. So we have another instructor in this show because last time it was Dennis Shepard and he was also an instructor, but he was doing this for mixing and mastering thing, speaking of production. But you are the one who is giving the master classes, actually free master classes for improving singing, production, songwriting skills. So would you mind explaining what people can learn from those masterclasses?
Yeah, the reason I got into the whole kind of teaching side of the industry is because I want to help people, and I didn't have any help. Back in the day, I had to figure everything out myself, and I just wish there was like these online courses and stuff now. So what happened was, with the label was signing these artists and I was helping these artists that were signed to cassette recordings at mine BT's label. I was helping them, over Zoom, like with, stuff for lyrics and, helping them with melody creation and, the whole songwriting thing and vocal production and recording, the whole thing actually. So I thought, well, I can teach, it was taking up a lot of my time to teach each individual artist. So I thought I'm going to record some videos and then I realized I can help a lot more people. So I decided to do the whole academy and I started last December. And yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. I do free masterclasses and anyone can come and join. They just register. If anyone wants to join one of my masterclasses, by the way, just DM me on Instagram, the word masterclass, and I'll send you more info. But yeah, these masterclasses are great. They're live, they're on Zoom. And I literally, just spill a load of secrets and tips and tricks and help you, figure out how to get great sounding recording vocals at home without any fancy equipment and everything else, because you don't need to spend a lot of money these days. It's all changed. So I show people how to get great sounding vocals at home. I show people how to add emotion to the lyrics. I show my actually method of how I write chord progressions now. It's changed. It's a new method I did on my last album, Love Songs from Suburbia. So I go through the method and how I craft chord progressions on the piano without actually being able to play the piano because I can't play the piano. So this was like a huge thing for me. I thought I've got to share this with people and let them into this as well. But the whole thing with the academy is to empower artists and to empower people, empower the artist within so that you don't have to rely on another producer. You don't have to rely on somebody else to write the songs or lyrics. You can do it all yourself. And it's been really successful so far. And I've had great results with my students. And I didn't realize how much I was going to really enjoy this whole process of helping people and seeing people make breakthroughs. But yeah, it's been fantastic and something I'm continuing to do. And, this year as well and next year. And yeah, listen, as long as I'm getting results and helping people, I'll be doing it.
That's really nice of you. It's actually pretty generous. Amazing. I mean, it's a good way to help, as you said, young people, because most of them are confused, when they're about to enter this world, because there's a lot of questions, they don't know how to deal with this. They face this obstacle, that obstacle. So this is, I think, amazing project. So yeah, keep doing it for sure. It's
absolutely. It is really helpful because I know how hard it is and it's overwhelming. And you go on YouTube to find out how to do something. There's like Oh, wow, that's confusing. So yeah, the whole goal, the whole thing, like for me in lockdown, everybody, when during lockdown was found it challenging, and everybody had their own struggles, and me personally, having that skill set to be able to create songs and write music really was like a huge part of my escape from everything that was going on in the world. And it really helped me. It was like a therapist for me. So if I can pass on this knowledge that I've got and give other people that gift of being able to create, great songs, and then I've got to do it. It almost feels like a responsibility that I've got to do it. So yeah.
Fantastic. Really fantastic. Okay, can you share some little tips on how to eliminate writer's blocks? Because I have a similar problem with my writing skills. I'm joking, I'm not a songwriter, but yes, I do write some things, and I definitely write those interviews, and sometimes I do have those blocks. But can you try to explain briefly what should people pay attention to when they have this problem?
Yeah, I think there's a few things you can do to eliminate writer's block. One of the biggest things that stops us from getting into, what we call the flow state is that state where everything seems easy. You have like 20 minutes where you blah, 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 and you're writing things down. It's just like, oh, wow, that inspiration, that was so great. It felt easy. It all came out. We call this flow state. And you want to get into that kind of state as much as you can. And I think the biggest thing that stops people from doing this and causes writer's block is distractions. And, distractions are everywhere at the moment. We've got watches that ding. We've got, laptops, emails, phones, smartphones, everything. And if you can really, when you are going to create, whether you're creating a podcast script or you're creating a song or a movie script, anything creative, the main tip I can give you is just limit distractions and turn your phone in airplane mode. If you, tell people that you're busy and you don't want to be disturbed, and give yourself that time to focus and really tap into that flow state. Because distractions are a huge problem. We're so used to having our phones with us everywhere and being connected, and someone texts us and then you're like, oh, it's not going to work. It's going to slow you down when you're creating. So, if you do, a lot of people have full-time jobs and they don't do music all the time, and they have 3 hours a week to work on music at the weekends. So you want to really protect that time and make sure no one disturbs you and you can really focus. And that will help you get out of writer's block. But, I have a gazillion other tricks about writer's block and how to get out of it. And if anyone does want any more, just DM me or something. But that's a really great one, is to do that. Yeah. It's
a good one, definitely. And yes, subscribe his mailing list and you will get some other tips as well. All right. Speaking of a writer's block, I'm not sure if you had any, but I'm sure your last album released a few months ago, Love Songs from Suburbia, smashed it. It hit number 1 on the top 40 US dance chart. How cool is that? And even cooler to see many remixes were already made, including the one of the track Magic by Marcus Schultz that ended up on the In Search of Sunrise 17 edition that was released this year, a few months ago. And this was actually totally expected that your track ends up over there. So how was this for you when you found out this was super successful?
Yeah, do you know what? For me, I changed my sound a lot with this album. Ultimately, I've been known for a lot of trance stuff, and I just wanted to explore a different sound for me, something a little bit more deeper, a little bit more organic sounding. So it was, it's a bit of a gamble when you change your sound, but I did, and it was just like, it just filled my heart with joy when I found out. I was so shocked, and Arnie from the label called me at first to say it was number 3 in America. I was like, wow, so it gets the champagne out, and I was just about to pop the cork, and I found out it was number 1. So yeah, it was incredible. And even now, I've got so many kind messages about it and about the songs and what it means to people. And I'm just really happy it's been accepted, because this, like I was saying, do what you love. And this is really tapped into in this album. I really tapped into what I love. and focused on that. And I wrote this really hopeful album in this time of struggle, I'll be honest with you. And it was a really rough time. I was going through a lot. I left Los Angeles and COVID was on. There were no gigs. I was going through a breakup. There was a lot getting thrown at me at the time. But, you know, this album came out of the dirt kind of thing. I recorded it in a temporary studio in my sister's garden shed. And unbelievable. But this album it was great to get that response for it and to get people like Marcus doing remixes for it and, you know, including
not only him, of course.
Yeah, it was incredible. Incredible.
Amazing. Really good job. And a really good album, I have to say, definitely. So you come up from a music family. Your father was in a rock band popular in the 60s. What do say about this? Was he the one who had the biggest influence on you in your career?
I think, you know, my dad, he's always been into music. He's still madly passionate about music now. He's still got Logic and he creates his own songs, and I'm always helping him fix his plugins that don't work or whatever. But yeah, as a child, you know, my dad always had an acoustic guitar around the house. He was always singing, and, you know, my mum and dad were in a group together. So I guess I was surrounded by it from an early age, and I just got a massive passion for music. It's literally everything to me, and it always has been. I've always known that music is it's really important to me, you know, and it always has been. It's got like some magical powers. I really believe that, and it's what a medicine music is as well. So I've always had a really close connection with music, but I didn't always think I was going to do it professionally. No. When I was younger, 17, 18, I thought I better get a proper job now, you know, and go and work in an office and stuff. And then it wasn't a few years later that I decided to do it properly. I thought, why not? Why not me? You know, why can't I do this? I love it. I love music. So very grateful that I'm still doing it today. You know, and I get to come and do things like this.
Good decision.
Yeah.
So if you compare the industry 20 years ago and the industry nowadays, what do you like about it more and what do you miss?
You know, I think it's a very, very different industry than it was 20 years ago. I think I miss some of the mystery from back in the day. There was a lot more mystery around artists. I think Daft Punk have kind of done that recently, but there was a lot more mystery around artists. And I think now with social media and everything, there's no mystery anymore around artists, I suppose. So I miss that. But I've got to be honest with you, like, what a time to be in the music industry now. Listen, it's been a rough few years, and, you know, royalties and streaming royalties, they've still got to fix that. But there are so many other exciting things on the horizon for the music industry now. So, you know, I mean, one of the biggest things is like social media and having that connection, that direct communication with your fans. It's just incredible. So I'm really excited about the future and where it's all heading in the music industry. You know, there are more opportunities than ever right now. So,
okay, so you mentioned social media, for example. Do you think that everything that happens over there is good for you artists, and generally speaking, for everyone?
I think it's, you know, everything is about relationships. It all comes down to relationships. And I think, you know, social media, when done correctly with the right strategies, can be a really powerful tool to help you get where you want to be. You know, in 20 years ago, you had to go get your guitar or whatever and do like gigs around little towns and whatever just to try and get heard. Or you had to be in the newspapers or on the radio or on a TV show or in a magazine or in a movie. Now you don't have to do that. There's an opportunity, you know, you can find your tribe, you can find your fans. You know, you only need like 1,000 true fans. You know, say you get 1,000 fans spending $100 a year on your vinyl, your shows, your merch, t-shirts, whatever. You know, you do the maths, and that's a decent wage that you can make, you know, as a musician these days, because you've got that connectivity and you can tap in to your fan base and find your tribe, your niche. And, you know, it's all in your own hands. It's all up to you. Incredible.
That's true. That's true, but I always find it different when comparing fans and followers. These are two different, terms over there, because not every follower is actually your fan, and you are aware of that, right?
Well, I don't even think about that. I don't really think about that. And, sometimes people might put comments that whatever you don't like, I don't even let them enter my head. I just I ignore them. And, all I do is I concentrate on the people who love my music, and I nurture those relationships, and I'll help these people, and I'll talk to them, and I'll comment with them after I'm nurturing these relationships, because without the fans, any artist or musician is nothing. It's not the labels that make a fan, it's the fans that make an artist. Sorry, it's the fans that make it. So you really, it's a privilege to be able to do that and get to speak to them. But yeah, the haters and all the other people, whatever. I'm not focused on you. Great, you can come in, follow me, and have a look what's going on. That's fine. But I'm really doing it, the social media, for the real fans who love the music and who have given me so much, and enabled me to do what I do all my life. So it's the least I can do.
Perfect state of mind. All right. So what do you miss the most during those crazy moments we're all experiencing for a year and a half, even a little bit more than that?
Do you mean during COVID and stuff?
Yeah. What you miss? Not being on tour, not playing live in front.
Yeah, I have missed performing. I've really missed performing live. I think a lot of artists, a lot of DJs and artists have really missed that, going out and getting that feedback off the crowd. And it's kind of like coming off a drug or something. It's like, you get so used to it. And it's a great experience. So I've really missed that. And I've missed, friends, seeing friends on the road and stuff. I mean, the last month it's been nice. I've been down to drum sheds in London with the Anjuna people, and I was at Creamfields a few weeks ago, and it was great to see some of my old friends and people who work behind the scenes and tour managers and everything. So I've really missed that kind of connection as well. But I'm looking forward to doing more of that in the future.
I can imagine how it felt. So I think actually that you're doing pretty well, except the fact that you're addicted to Instagram. I have to say this. But actually this is not bad, because I like your videos that you post over there. As I said at the beginning, they are positive, they're motivating and funny as well. And this is what we all need actually during these crazy times. But where do you find that energy to wake up with a smile on your face every morning and say to yourself, today is going to be a good day, I'm going to smash, or something like that?
Well, I think, let's first of all, not every day is like that. I'm not on there every day, but most days you have a choice, you can either make it a good day or make it a rubbish day, and I just choose good over rubbish, and it's a mindset. It definitely is a mindset. And I think one thing I do is I have a morning routine. So I'll do my morning routine, I'll go to the gym, and I'll make myself a healthy drink and do all my things in the morning. It really sets me up for the day. It really does. And since I started doing that about a year and a half ago, I started working on my morning routine. That's really helped me kind of mindset for the rest of the day. So, if you haven't got a morning routine yet, anybody listening, check it out. Maybe a little bit of meditation, maybe a run, go for a run, do something really good for you physically, and and see how you get on.
That's good. Meditation is not really my thing, at least not now. I would really love to learn it, those skills. But right now I'm having a hard time to focus on anything, because my energy is crazy, going everywhere all the time. So yeah, I need actually to try this. That's
the perfect time for you to try it. It's the perfect time for you to try it,
Indeed. All right.
Start small.
Okay, let's play a little game. It's called simply The Truth. So okay. I'm gonna show you over here. It's like, okay, I cannot.
Okay, this looks ominous.
Okay, so over here you see 7 numbers, and you will need to choose 3 out of 7.
Okay.
And behind those numbers, there is one question. And I will need you to answer on that question.
Okay. All right, number 3.
Number 3. Number 3 says, what is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. What is my guilty pleasure? I think guilty pleasure for me is I'm obsessed with South Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love South Park. Cartman, my favorite.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next one.
Number 6.
Number 6 has, what is your favorite track?
Favorite track, what, of mine?
Yes.
Favorite track of mine? Oh, wow, that is a really tough one. Has anyone ever answered that?
It was hard. Usually people like all of those tracks.
Wow, it's really hard. I don't know if I can answer it. I'm gonna go with. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with a track off my last album called Tigers.
Oh, nice. Nice choice. All right. And the third one?
And the third one is lucky number 7. Or unlucky.
7 says, what makes you lose your mind?
What makes me lose my mind?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good question. And one, I'm trying to think what.
Situation or a person, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because there's so many things that.
Or animal.
You know what? I think getting stuck in traffic is not good for me. I hate it. That's why I've got a bike now. I go most places on my bicycle if I can get there because it's like so easy. But yeah, I hate traffic jams. And that's the only time I can lose my mind. If I'm stuck on the motorway, which I was the other week for like 4 hours, just stuck. I moved like 1 foot in length in 4 hours. So I was losing my mind a little bit then, yeah.
I can relate to completely. Yeah, I think everyone hates that. So. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so actually where Chris and I connected in a way is actually the Clubhouse app. For those who don't know how this app actually works, this is actually a great platform where people from around the world come together to connect, talk, listen, and learn from each other in real time. What is your general opinion about Clubhouse?
You know, I think Clubhouse is fantastic. I think, I joined it in January. And it's been a great place for me. It was great during lockdown because, I was missing that conversation with people. And I could go on there and talk about topics, about marketing, about music and all that stuff without the distractions of video. I could also be in my scruffs, in my sweatpants, in my shorts, whatever. No one cares because it's just audio. And it's a really powerful platform. And, I go on there, I have a club with BT. We go on there every Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time and 9 p.m. GMT. And we have a Make Better Music Club on Clubhouse. And we help a lot of artists on there and we're giving out advice and we're listening to demos. We have Ilan Bluestone comes in and helps us sometimes listening to demos and we do, critique for people and help them give feedback. Really valuable stuff. So I really enjoy it. I really love it. And it's a great place. If you're a musician, it's a great place to network. If you're looking for, a videographer, or if you're looking for a photographer, or you're looking for labels, there's all kinds of people on there. So if you're serious about music and, in the industry side of it, I think it's a great place for an independent musician to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the first time I got into this app, I got invited by Dennis Shepard, because if you want to be there, you need to be invited by someone who is already active. And the first room actually I entered was the room where were you, BT and Ilan Bluestone, and I don't remember who else. Yeah. And then I realized how actually this useful is and interesting. At the beginning, we were talking about different topics, but nowadays it is mostly focused on artists. So this is why I'm not often coming over there, because it's crazy time consuming for sure. But if you're an artist, or you want to be involved in this industry in that way, this is perfect place to be. And what I don't let's say like it right now about it, it's those crazy hypes. Speaking of NFT, which actually BT started, I think. So, well, it is. I always, those notifications come like NFT there and the NFT here, just jump in. I don't want to jump in over there.
Well, listen, I mean, there's a lot of NFT stuff going on at the minute, but really, it's really early and not a lot of people know about NFTs, and it's non-fungible tokens. And
can you please explain a little bit, just a little bit, what actually
I mean, it's absolutely. And, I'm studying it myself at the moment, but it's basically, listen, it's a great way that can help artists out in the future, because, it's a way artists can make money to fund their projects, themselves, by creating art and selling them as NFTs. So it's a great thing that's going to happen. It's very early, and I don't think there are any experts on NFTs at the moment. It's so early, but I think this whole NFT movement is going to be spectacular for artists. And I think moving into the future, it's just a way that, if artists in the past have felt they've got shortchanged from people like Spotify and Apple and everything, it's the time where they'll actually be able to get their worth for their music and their art. So I'm all for supporting artists and creators getting paid the money that they're worth, and not being kind of shortchanged by other kind of areas in the music industry. So I think if you are a musician, you should definitely just go out and just start learning and just find some, stuff about, on YouTube about NFTs, and just figure out what they are and keep one eye on it, because, it could be something you could do. It's like, this is what I teach my students. You don't just have to be a songwriter or an artist. You could be an NFT artist as well. And you could make money from doing that as well in the future. So there's so many opportunities in the music industry right now. And I think, NFTs is one huge opportunity for all musicians and artists. And you should not ignore it. Okay. Even you.
I'm not an artist, so this is my right. But artists out there, go and check it. I kindly advise you, because it's really crazy. I mean, and I think it's a future of art. So do that. Okay, so I realized you like cooking, and I realized this thanks to Instagram, of course. Yeah. Is there any specific hobby or interest you have in your life that you focused on a lot more during the pandemic?
I think definitely, I did focus a lot of time on the academy because I had more time to work on the academy. But outside of work stuff, when I did get more into my cooking. Absolutely. Because I started the beginning of lockdown, it was bad. I was like drinking loads of beer, watching the news 24 hours a day. I had Domino's pizza on speed dial. I did that for like 2 months. I was like, right, that's it. That's enough. I can't go on like this. I've got to sort myself out here. Lockdowns, COVID's not over. It's carrying on. We're just going to have to kind of get out of this rut. So I started really experimenting with cooking and well-being and healthy, working out and stuff like that. So the cooking one was amazing, yeah. And I love cooking so much. I love it so much. So I did put my my recipes on this from time to time. But yeah, not a lot of people know this, but I used to that was what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a chef. When I grew up, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a chef, and then I realized that the hours were so unsociable. So I decided to go and work in an office instead. But I always wanted to be a chef. I love cooking.
That's good. I wanted to ask you this, but you just said it. So now we know what you would be if you weren't an artist, a musician. Yeah. All right. So your songs are also were part of commercials, TV shows like Vampire Diaries. We all watched that. Frequency and blockbuster movies. How did it happen? You mentioned Disney as well before.
Yeah.
Are you still doing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's, sometimes you get a call from your publisher and they say, hey, such and such one, you want to use your track in a movie. And you're like, great. It's getting harder and harder to kind of, there's so much saturation. There's 80,000 new songs released every day now. There's a lot of songs. So it gets a little bit harder to cut through the noise, but yes, it still happens. And, it's nice when you get the call. People want to use your songs in the movies. And there are people who just dedicate their whole music career to just doing music for sync and for film and stuff like that. But that's not me. But every so often I do get nice surprises, and it's always nice.
Nice. Okay, but what is that you enjoy the most? Songwriting, singing, producing, teaching.
I think I like them all for different reasons, and it's nice to be able to cycle around the different things that I do. Like the teaching, like the producing, the performing, the writing lyrics. But I think my ultimate favorite thing to do in the whole thing is it's got to be performing, going on stage and having that energy from the crowd. It's spectacular, especially when you've written a song and, the crowd is singing it back to you. It's such an incredible feeling, that, I'm blessed to have that feeling as an artist. And it's sad that I've not been able to do that the last 18 months, but yeah, I'm excited to get back out because that is a good buzz. It's great.
We just need to continue hoping that this is going to be over pretty soon. So this is what we have, hope again. Okay. So what is your plan for the next period? What can we expect? Maybe a new album, some exciting collaborations. Please reveal me some interesting. And hopefully BBMak tour, of course.
Yes. Well, I've got lots of things going on at the moment. I've got... well, I suppose I can talk about it now, but I've got a track coming out with Ben Nicky and Greg Downey coming out called Always Soon, which was, it was actually in the group therapy, above and beyond group therapy 450, but that we're just planning a release date for that. So that'll be coming out in the near future. I'm working on a couple more collaborations, which I can't talk about right now, unfortunately. We're working on new BBMak music, working on more All Hail the Silence music, and also working on stuff for my solo album. So I've got a lot of music going on at the moment, as well as doing the academy and working with everyone doing that. It's busy.
So super busy as always.
Yeah, okay. It's really busy, but it's all good. And we're getting ready to launch the record company, Cassette Recordings, me and BT. So there's that going on as well. But this is all stuff I've been working on for a long time. So it's just nice to come into a kind of, to the release and stuff. So
Perfect. Really looking forward to see what's gonna come next from your kitchen. Okay, I have one thing to ask you at the end of this interview, and this track is from the year when I actually started listening to trance music. We're talking about 2010, and the name of this track is "This Light Between Us." You did it in collaboration with Armin van Buuren, and this is something really special for me. And I need to kindly ask you, if you refuse, I'm gonna kill you. I'm joking. To sing a little bit of this track for me.
Oh, you want me to sing? Oh,
yes.
Right. Okay. I think I have to do this now. I get so nervous doing it. But yeah, which bit do you want me to sing? Do you want me a bit of the chorus?
Your choice.
Okay. Can you see this light between us? Keeps me breathing through the storm. My head above the crowd. Can you see this light between us? So come a little bit closer now. It's in our eyes. It's in our eyes.
Oh my God. Thank you for this so much. You have no idea how many times I cried listening to this track. Yes, I had to admit it. But it's not important right now. What is important is that we got to the end of this show, and I think it went nice. I hope you felt
it was great.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank you again for taking part in my show and letting me and everyone watching and listening to go on this journey with you into the music industry. I wish you great success with your music. The Academy, of course, and BBMak. Basically, that's it. We're going to be definitely in contact. I'm going to be following your work, and I'm going to be updated for sure with new stuff that you'll be doing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure being on, and good luck with all this. I think it's great what you're doing. So, any way I can help.
You are very welcome, and thank you for kind words. Okay, so music lovers out there, please let me know how did you like this episode, but be gentle. I'm joking. Feel free to share your thoughts with me, and if you liked the interview, please click on the like button below this video, leave a comment and share it with the world. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube Connected by Frequency channel, don't forget to do it. This is really important. And you know what you shouldn't forget? That we're all connected by frequency. Until next time, take care and have fun. Bye-bye.